This is going to be my first book review on this vlog, so I am super excited. As you can see, I have a little bit of a sunburn here from work. It's pretty much the only part of my body that's exposed to the sun, and I do put on sunscreen, but clearly it's not working that well. I'm using aloe though, so hopefully that will help soon, and I'll be back to my pearly white skin right here. Okay, so today I am going to be reviewing The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi. There we go. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. As you can see, it has a beautiful cover. It's a little bit battered up since I carried it in my work bag around for 3 months basically. But it was a really beautiful book, and still is, really, at least on the outside. So the synopsis of this book is it's about Princess Maya. Her name's much longer, but that's what she goes by, and it's a retelling of an Indian fairy tale, kind of based around Hades and Persephone or Beauty and the Beast, that kind of thing. And she is forced to make a marriage of political convenience, and then the mysterious king of Acheron shows up, Amar, and she chooses him in the middle of a battle, and he whisks her off to this faraway land of all the tales that she's been reading about, including the Night Bazaar and all these otherworldly creatures, and they go to his palace that is filled with lots of mysterious doors with mysterious things behind them that she is told to never open, not even go to. And so she has this marriage where she's really fascinated by him and she loves him, but then she manages to mess everything up and she has to go figure out how to fix everything. She also has this horoscope that made it really difficult to find a husband in the first place, or for her father to find her a husband, because her horoscope promised that she would marry death. And so she was believed to be cursed her whole life, and she was bullied and ostracized because of that, despite the fact that she was a princess. That's the end of my spoiler-free review, so if you want to continue reading, bear in mind that there will be spoilers for what happened. Okay, so you see this beautiful cover. This is one of the reasons why I bought it. I pre-ordered the paperback copy. It was only like $6, so I was like, why not? It can't be that bad. I'll enjoy it, and it's beautiful. And so I did that, and I was super excited to read it, and then I started reading it, and it took me 3 months to do so, which is why it's all battered up, because I carried it around all that time, and I could only read like 1 chapter at a time, if that, because it had issues. So the main issue with this book is that it's just very, very purple prosy. So much. Like, half the time I was like, what does this mean? I don't know. Presumably the author knew, but she's probably the only one who does. Yeah, it's just so full of all these words, and if you cut all of that out, it would probably be like half the length. Yeah, that was my main issue with this story. It was so hard to read because so much of it was just words that were not necessary for it. And we're not necessary for the plot, we're not necessary for the description. The description could have been several sentences fewer, but it wasn't. And as a result, half of it was redundant, half of it just did not make sense, and it just made it really confusing and hard to continue reading because of that. But Maya's character also had a lot of issues. So in terms of romance, I would say that this is just one step above Twilight. I mean, granted, Twilight is a little bit of one of my guilty pleasures. I read the whole series, not mostly to see what would happen, but I enjoyed reading it for the most part, even though it could have used a lot of work. And so the romance here, it was so constructed. There was no chemistry at all. A lot of it was like love at first sight, sometimes lust at first sight, and it was just really, really annoying. She keeps going back and forth about whether she trusts this guy, but then she's talking about how much she loves him, and she literally known him for only 2 days. Only 2 days. And when she first meets him, she's like, he looks so interesting. He's wearing a hood over his face, but I can tell he's probably really handsome. But maybe he's a monster, but I love him. He's so attractive. Yeah. That's what was going on in this book, and it was very, very annoying. And she just kept messing up, making all the stupidest decisions. Like, anyone could have told her, no, that's not a good idea. You poor child. No, just don't. Move on. Don't do something, but not that. And she just kept making the stupidest decisions. She's been raised to be a princess, and she studied political theory and philosophy and history her entire life because she loves reading. She should be super smart, but she's not. She's really not. And I just really wanted to like her, and I didn't. The redeeming factors for this book were Kamala, the horse, who wasn't even introduced until halfway through. And then Maya's sister Gauri, I don't really know how to pronounce her name, so I hope I'm not butchering it. They were semi-interesting characters. The next book, A Crown of Wishes, in the feature, in the preview of it, in the back of this, features her, like from her perspective. So I'm kind of considering reading it, but I don't know, I only gave this book 2 stars, and I rarely give books 2 stars. Like, rarely. If I don't like a book, usually I give it 3 stars. Like, oh, it was okay. Not bad. She's like, but we'll see. It too has a beautiful cover, but I don't know if the writing has improved. Maybe I'll actually read the preview in the back, see if anything's improved there. We'll see. But I was just really disappointed in this book. I think it could have used a lot more editing, a lot more people saying, you need to work on this character, or you need to cut all this purple prose. Because the writing's beautiful, but it's also really annoying because it makes no sense. And it just goes on for forever. So, overall, I rated this 2 stars. I really wish I could have liked it more. I really wanted to like it so much. I mean, look at this cover. So, I don't really know what I'm doing with this yet. I don't know if I'm going to read the next one. I'll probably see if I can find a Kindle deal on it, like for $2, because it's not really worth, this one's not really worth more than that, though the cover is gorgeous. I know I keep saying that, but it's super gorgeous. That's half the reason why I bought this book. That, and I thought it was going to be interesting, because I love fantasy. But yeah, so that's my take on this book. As far as I know, I have a pretty unpopular opinion on this. A lot of people really love it. It has a diverse cast. It takes place in India, or what would be India, and it's fantasy. So yeah, but I just didn't like it. So we'll see about reading the next one. I'll think about it for a while I continue on to my next book. The next review I will be doing is of The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. So I'll be looking forward to doing my next video and sharing it with you guys.